Okay, let's take a look at Tinkercad. It's a very popular 3D modeling software for younger students, typically used in lower primary, but it also has a very useful electronics component in it that can be used all the way through secondary school. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to sign in with my account. You can sign in with Gmail. I use an Autodesk account. I'll click on that, sign in with my Autodesk. And so same account that I was using earlier for Fusion 360 and some of those videos. And that opens up the Tinkercad dashboard. Now, if you don't have an account, you're going to need to sign up for one. But if you've got Gmail, that should work. Now, on the left-hand side, I've got 3D design, circuits, code blocks, and lessons. Now, we're just going to take a look at circuits for now. So I'm going to click on that, and you're going to see some of my circuits show up. Which we could take a look at later, but for now I'm just going to go create new circuit. And this is going to bring it into the web interface for Tinkercad. So I've got a blank screen here, and over on the side I've got a bunch of components that I can use. I'm going to start off, I'm going to bring a breadboard into my space. So I just clicked on the breadboard and I dragged it in. Now it's coming up breadboard small and the name is 1. I'm not really concerned too much about this. The next thing that I can do is you could just use components on here and make simple circuits. You don't need to do programming, at least not right away. But let's take a look at programming to start because that's what we're looking at. So I'm going to grab an Arduino Uno and I'm going to drag it over as well. So I've got my Arduino and I've got my breadboard. Zoom out a little bit, place it like that. Now I can connect this together with wires. So I'm going to go from ground here and put a wire to ground over there. Change the color to black. So you've got that there, and you can see now they're linked together. And then I'm going to take another wire from 5 volts. And I'm going to just kind of bring that around the other side here so it's out of the way. And I'm going to make that one red. Now, just to make this a bit easier, I'm going to connect the rails on the other side. So I'm going to connect the negatives together, ground, and I'm going to make that black, and I'll connect the positives together, make that red. So now I've got my breadboard fully connected to the Arduino. The most common circuit that people do with Arduino is blink. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to come over to my side here and I'm going to find an LED. And I'm going to stick that on the breadboard. I'll stick it up here. I'm going to zoom in on the LED for a bit. Now, see how it's got a flat side on it? That flat side is ground, so that needs to be connected to the ground side. And the round side is positive. You can see the bent leg is positive, straight leg is ground. Let's zoom out a bit. Now, in order to make this work, it will work without a resistor, but I'm going to add a resistor in anyway. So I've got a resistor going to the LED. If I was making a real circuit, I would 100% have that resistor in there. And over here I can manage that resistor. So let's say I set this at ohms, and we'll go 300 for now. So I've got from my resistor goes to my LED. So now from here I can take a wire to ground. I'm going to make that black so I know that it's a ground wire. And I'm going to take another wire from pin 13 up to that LED. And I'll just leave that green for now. So you can see that I've got a really simple circuit from the Arduino pin 13 through the resistor, through the LED, back to ground. So now I can click on code, and that's going to bring up my coding environment. Now, right now this is set default to block. So set built-in LED high, wait 1 second, low. This is just the blink, so let's see if that actually works. I don't really use the block base too much, but you can see now the LED is blinking, and that's using the blocks. Now, you don't have to use blocks. There's other options as well. I'm going to stop simulation, go from blocks to text. It's going to give me a warning. And now you can see this showing up in text. I like to work in text a lot. I just find the text space is a little easier to do big things. If you want to play around in blocks to start, that's cool too. But you can see here I've got pin mode, 13 is an output, digital write 13, and see the 13 is coming from the Arduino board. So 13 goes high, that's your LED. Wait 1000 milliseconds, then LED low. And you can come in here now and you can play with this. So let's say I want to speed it up. Let's go 500. Start simulation, and now you'll see that that's flashing faster. Or maybe you want to add some more LEDs, so I'm going to go stop simulation, turn off my code, and I'm going to add another LED in. I'm going to add another resistor in. We'll set that to 300 ohms. I'm going to add another wire, this time to pin 12. And I'm going to add another ground wire back to ground and change that to black. So now I've got two LEDs. If I go back to code and hit start simulation, stop, just get this out of the way for a second. There we go. Start simulation. We still only have one LED flashing. Now this is pretty easy to add some others in. I'm just going to do a bit of cut and paste. So control copy, control V. We're going to set that to 12. I'm going to copy that line. And we're going to say, we're going to have 12 go high. Control copy there. And we're going to go 12 low. So now I've got them both turning on and off at the same time. Start simulation. And now you see both LEDs are flashing. Now I've done something funny with this resistor and I've given it the wrong value. So that you can see that it's quite a bit dimmer. So stop simulation, I'm going to click on that and go to 300 ohms, not kilo ohms. Start simulation again, and you can see that they're bright. So maybe I want these LEDs to flash alternating. I'll go back to code, and I can just change the high to a low. Sorry, stop simulation. So delete that. We're going to go low. And here we're going to take 12 and go high. Start simulation again, and now you'll see that the LEDs are alternating. You can play around with this quite a bit and come up with some really interesting ideas.